Well, good evening. So we are back on the Wednesday night program, and we're looking at God's Not Dead 2, the video. So if you're joining us on YouTube, just hit pause in just a moment and go watch the beginning of God's Not Dead 2. We're going to about 40 minutes of the program. So stop your video around 40, and then hit unpause us, and we'll be back. We can then pick up with the discussion. All right. Hope to see you soon. All right. So we ended up where the defense attorney and the prosecuting or attorney for the county were in the hallway getting a shoe shine and having their first words to each other privately. So I didn't realize when we started this that the characters did lop over from the first movie to the second, and that there's two of them, right? No, it's three of them. There's the Pastor Dave and Amy, and what's the young Chinese man's name?
Martin something.
Martin. That's right. Thank
I don't
you.
know. Didn't catch the last name.
And the pastor's friend, and I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, I just count him as part of the pastor team there. So it looks like Pastor Dave's problems are continuing, and what do you think that is? What can you say about Pastor Dave that we've seen?
Hmm. Um, he's
How
there.
does it,
Huh?
what kind of impression does he give you when you think of him?
I think he's your classic pastor. He's always willing to help anybody that has a question, has a problem, has even that last movie with the girl the high school girl that just went on and on and on. He listened to her.
Yep.
Didn't want to, but
How about when no one's around?
mm, seems like he wants to do the right thing.
Yeah, but he's
Well,
got
we'll
very
see.
low motivation for it.
Well, yeah. Okay, I see where
He's
you're
he's kind of like the jury duty, he's sitting there irresponsibly, slothfully kicking back and doesn't want to
going.
do it, doesn't want to get involved.
I'm not going to get
Did,
picked.
he wanted to help the girl in the last movie with all of her cheerleader questions, but his attitude even then was frivolous. I mean, he was,
Mm,
he didn't want to do that. He was listening to her. Martin seems to stimulate him. He seems to get, for all he said about the how many questions Martin had, it seems like he dove in pretty well. And the second time he ran it when he were in the church, he didn't really hesitate. He jumped right back in again.
maybe
So
that's what
he's
I'm
got,
seeing.
The
yeah, he's
pastor
got,
seems to be suffering from a little burnout, maybe.
yes, it could be. He's got, his private life is deflated, but his vocational life is not. So something's got to happen for him to put the two back together again. They're not separate. That's the problem. They're not separate. They are together. It's one thing, not two. So we'll see where that goes for him. How about Amy? Was that a surprise?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The realism is kind of on that one, but I guess it has happened, and we don't know how much time has gone by either since the first movie.
Yeah, it couldn't have been too long because she's still in the process of getting her
Yeah,
assessment. So I don't think it was well, but it looks like graduation is gone, or it's not graduation, but the summer. It's the school
mm,
year's out
okay,
because
yeah,
Martin's still there, but Josh is gone. And he's
sure.
not running back and forth to school, it seems. He was there in the middle of the day, wasn't he? Before.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So I'm thinking it's probably summer.
Maybe it's a few months later then.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. Her response when she said questioning everything, what do you think she meant?
Well, she doesn't understand why she doesn't have cancer anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that's taken place for her that's outside of her normal way of being was the prayers that she got at the concert, which
Yeah,
she didn't really participate in. I mean, she was
But
there.
she must have been talking to him in between. So I think she's open to it, right? for him
Yeah.
to check in with her. He knew she was getting checked, so she clearly was talking to him during this time period. And
Yep. Yep. Good observation. So when she says everything, the comment about all of it being doesn't know what to believe, is that including this, what's happened to her? Is it including the new Christian perspective in her life?
yeah, it was weird. I wasn't really sure what she meant or how you could go through that and then not believe.
Yeah.
Seems funny.
But was she an ardent atheist before? I don't remember. Or was she
Yes.
okay.
Atheist. Well, now you think about Paul. Remember now Paul's letters. He's writing to the Thessalonians and the Corinthians, and a lot of the times he's writing to them about backsliding. He's writing to them as people who have seen miracles or have miraculous events, are strong in the faith. The faith is, made a difference in their community and the way that they live their life, and yet they're kind of sliding off the table. So she's, at the beginning, she certainly has had a huge event in her life, but that old life still with her. I mean, she's had this thing happen, but she was an atheist for, how old do you think she is? 30? Is that fair?
Early 30s, I'd say.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's been an atheist for 30 years, 20 that she can remember. So that's a pretty big ask for her just to switch over like that. Certainly would start crushing her, but on the other side of the table, really questioning her whole denial of the divine life and a divine intervention. I mean, there's nothing an atheist can point to that would explain what happened.
Hmm.
So she's got nothing to fall back on that way. I imagine she's kind of rocking her a little bit that this just simply can't be true. I mean, I've been taught this. People I know like this. Probably your mom and dad were like that. It's, flows downhill, and here seems to be coming apart because this one single event in her life. How about?
There's probably times where she even doubts whether she ever had cancer.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe I'm thinking, I'm just kind of spitballing, but I wonder, somebody who has those or doesn't have those beliefs or believes, what I mean? All of a sudden they say you have cancer and you're going to die, and then unless you do this, and then weeks later, months later, oh, you don't have cancer anymore, you're in remission.
Right.
And with somebody who doesn't believe in God or doesn't believe God is in all powerful, they're just going to say, well, did I really have it in the first place?
Exactly. She'll write it off as a
Mhm.
mistake, medical mistake.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd say that's
Even though the doctors and everybody can show her all the evidence and all the x-rays and all the everything, she still won't believe.
Nope.
Maybe right away.
And that's the will, right? That's a willful event.
Yes.
So again, think about the New Testament. Think about Jesus talking, and Paul later on. He's saying you have seen the miracles, you have seen these things happen, and you're spending all your energy, making up excuses as to why it could happen or why it happened or why it didn't happen. But you were there. So why go to all this trouble to try to discredit something that you saw with your own eyes? And it's because they're so dedicated to the way the system was, they willfully cannot allow it to change the system. So they have to willfully make it not real. It's really a strong possibility that she'll do that. It's very strong ability within us human beings to do that. To see something in a certain way that's right and then change it because we don't like the way it was. In fact, that's going on right now in the US a lot. A lot of people looking at things and saying, no, that's not the way it is. And you shake your head, I shake my head, and it befuddles me. Don't you believe your eyes? Don't you believe your ears? Don't you believe what you see and know? No, they don't. Nope, refuse it. So yeah, very powerful. Very powerful.
On one
How
hand,
about?
she should be doing cartwheels because should be so
Yeah.
relieved. But I think maybe she's entitled to be a little angry too, if she thinks that they made a mistake
Sure.
because she was going through torment.
Yeah, but it would be, for her, that, as Alan was saying, that would be her manufacturing the I think that when people have done that, at least in my life that have done that, they won't go back. Like Alan said, they'll showing her the X-rays and the tests and all that other stuff. She would never go back that far because if she's going to remake the world in her image and say that she never had cancer and the doctors were wrong, she can't risk going too deep into it and have actual facts confront her. That's so she'll avoid it, like we are seeing in the world today. See people avoiding the facts like a burning fire. They just won't hear the facts because the facts really are a challenge, and you have to make up some silly excuse for the facts. So it's a lot easier than just not to have them. Just don't go there. So yeah, she could be angry, but I don't think she could do anything because doing anything would expose her to the facts.
Why
Mhm.
do you think she's gonna not think she had cancer at all?
I'm just thinking it's a possibility because that's her history, and our histories are strong. A lot of times in our Christian or faith walk, it is, we are hobbled, hindered by a lifetime of not being exposed to miraculous events or the like, where in reality it makes miracles really hard to expect or believe in. So that's just a lifetime. So I'm thinking if we all saw a miracle, it may be easy, but then it may not. I mean, people see something and then when they hear somebody else explain it away, they're like, "Oh yeah, that must be it. That had to be it. That's what happened." So we do it to ourselves. It's re remember that the the mystics in the Middle Ages had said over and over again that their miraculous events take place all the time.
Right.
We just don't acknowledge them. We chalk them up to a naturally occurring event and say that's a natural event. So we've taken a lot of miraculous events and downplayed it to the point where we don't even consider it anymore. So that becomes a habit. That becomes something as part of our life. And it's certainly, like I say, been her life for 30 years or 20 years, remembering. So that's hard to fight. Hard to fight. How about Grace? Teacher Grace. What did you think of her answer to the question that got her in all this trouble?
I didn't think it was that bad,
I don't either.
I know it wasn't.
but it's all it's a reality of how school systems I think are these days. They don't want you to say anything at all, period, dot about it, and they just will not allow it. If you say one little thing that could be construed to even be related to it, they're gonna hem you up.
Yep. Yeah, I thought her answer was brilliant.
And like the
Wait.
Lunger said, they're gonna make an example out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna try anyway.
The way that she wove Martin Luther King and Gandhi and Jesus all together in that big figure eight, I thought that was just perfect. I mean,
That was
the
amazing.
door was opened to her by the student who asked.
She
And
gave
she
an
didn't
answer.
bring that up. Yeah. So I think that what they're trying to show there is exactly what Alan is saying, that they've there is a and that opposing lawyer. They want to stamp this stuff out. They don't want it to be a part of what they're saying or part of what they're doing. Now, of course, there are different places in the country that this may not be so true. But in those places in the country where this is not so true, what may be true is that in those places, it's a specific brand of Christianity that they will allow and not allow another brand, another type. So you may be able to get away with some stuff, one teacher, but another teacher may be really held accountable for something else because it doesn't fit the same same template.
Do you think the student who asked the question was the student who was recording her answer on the phone?
No,
No,
that
that
was
was
the
a boy.
guy.
Oh. The guy with the
Yeah.
phone was probably telling his dad or something, "Hey, this teacher is doing religious things. I don't like this." That's probably what started the whole mess.
Yeah.
But, I think
The
it
dad
was
went to the school board and all that.
I think it was another guy, Jay, because if it was the guy who asked the question, he would have started recording before he asked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the girl asked the question.
Yeah.
Oh, she
But
did.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a guy that was, typing, texting about it.
I don't think they
Right.
saw who that was.
Yeah,
Plus, the girl is
Random student.
interested. I mean, she's not happy about it and she's protesting. So
Yeah.
she's probably really upset that she got this started.
I noticed too
Yeah.
when the student asked the question, Grace kind of hesitated for a bit. I don't know if it was just good acting or what, because she knew that she might be stepping on something she shouldn't be stepping in
Mhm.
as a teacher. So I
that-
thought that was really good, either really good acting or I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I think that she was considering how she could make that weave.
and not get in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would make how did she do it in a way that should have made it acceptable? What are they trying to say is not true, that is true, that they're not allowing?
The existence of God, basically,
Or the existence of
or any higher power.
Jesus.
yeah, of Jesus.
Jesus, yes.
They're not letting you talk about this. It's a weird thing. Let's think about this for a second. So my position is that Jesus is not God. Jesus is just a man, right? Well, if Jesus is just a man, you can talk about him just like you can talk about Gandhi and Martin Luther King. But if Jesus is God, you can't talk about him because that's a religious statement. So when I say that you can't talk about Jesus, I'm basically saying that Jesus is God. Right?
True.
That's why you can't talk. It's why you can't talk about him. You can't talk about him within the context of history, which is ridiculous because it's well established that he was a real person in history. So that's not it at all. I mean, there's no faith on the earth that is that uses Old Testament and New Testament processes, and the two major ones, of course, are Judaism and Islam. They both recognize Jesus. They both see him Islam sees him as a great prophet. So does Judaism. Of course, that goes off the rails after he claims to be Christ. But before that, they say that, yeah, he's a great teacher and had profound understanding of the scripture. So historic figure. She should be able to talk about him as a historic figure. And the things that he said that were recorded are also not usually in conflict. There's nobody saying, oh, no, this didn't happen. So if she's quoting him, that's like quoting any historical figure. But they don't want that because that's the slippery slope that leads from disbelief to
she
belief.
never even said, well, he's not dead. She could have said, we Christians believe he didn't die, that he came
Right.
back to life. And she didn't even say that. I was waiting for her to say that. That would have been something. She didn't even say that.
Would have been immediate dismissal from the school.
Yeah, because that would have been
Would have been no debate.
While that's also a belief of those Christians that is pertinent to what they're talking about, still that could be really taken as a religious statement. So she stayed away from that, and I don't think she stepped out of the line at all. I think she was right in there. Yeah. Now, what about her? What does she do when they told her she's going to go to court? What's the very next scene that they had her in?
Forgot.
She was at home.
She was
reading her Bible,
praying.
or praying.
Yeah,
Praying for assistance, praying for strength. What was
Yep.
she saying? Right. I can't remember.
Be brave, be strong.
Praying.
So this is a great image of what Christians, the modeling what Christians should be doing when we're in trouble, when we have pressure or difficulty of any kind. What Paul tells us to do is when you're hurting, when you're in danger, when you're in sorrow, whatever you're in, turn to the scriptures and turn to the Lord. So our pattern, you don't have to wait for that one. You can go to God in prayer, then go to the scripture, then go to God in prayer. You don't have to wait. And I'm sure she didn't either. She's probably praying on the way home. So, but that's an example of the call in faith to be turning back to God. God's the one who's going to help us, right? So if it was somebody else, you'd be calling them on the phone. But it wasn't. She's going straight to the source. A good witness of what she's saying. And that kind of follows up, doesn't it, with her saying that she's not gonna fold on this. She's not gonna deny what she said. So that's very cool. Conviction, good, strong conviction.
See where it
Yeah.
takes her.
She has a
Oh,
necklace. She has a necklace with a cross on it too.
does she?
Yes.
Yeah.
The other one's Martin. We don't know. We haven't seen what's going on. We only know his dad was ticked off at him last time, and now he was the first one to stand up in the classroom,
That's right.
and now obviously he's been studying like a big dog because he's got 47 questions and even more.
144.
Oh, 147. Sorry,
147 questions, and each one has generated 3 to 4 more.
that's a lot of questions.
Oh, he's about, what, 500 questions?
Yeah, yeah, that's what he said, right? Every one gives you 3 more, and that's true. That's the fun and the difficulty of Scripture, because it breeds a bunch of if-then statements. If then, if then, if then, if then. The good news is that there are answers to all those. Remember, I'm fond of saying this, and I've actually let know what the answer to this question is, at least one of the answers, but there's no mysteries in our faith. There's only really 2 questions that you can ask that the answer is it's a mystery. All the rest of them, all the rest. Oh, hang on a second.
Do we have a cat situation?
Sorry, dog.
Dog situation.
Yeah. So all the rest of 2 main questions that are a mystery, like you just say, it's a mystery. But otherwise, there's answers. There's answers that are right across the board. So, that silly answer that I got from my Sunday school teacher when I was growing up, because I was that kid that asked all the questions, who kept going back to the tired, beaten up old, it's a mystery, it's a mystery, it's a mystery, just as because he didn't know himself what to say. His answer should have been, I don't know, but I'll find out this week and let you know next week. Good question. But I wore him out. He actually, we met in the meeting, the conference room of the bank right down the road, because the church was too small. And he got so tired of me asking questions, he told me not to ask questions with a question. And I couldn't help myself. I had to ask a question.
She has more questions.
And he punished me. And the way he punished me was he had me go back because it was a long, thin bank. He had me go back like I was walking to the front door, and then grab a rolly chair off a desk and slide it around and stare at the vault.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I sat there the whole Sunday school staring at the vault.
It's awful.
You can relate to her problem then, can't you?
Made a memory, didn't it? Yeah, that's stuck with me.
Horrendous.
I think that was Jim Lammerman. Mr. Lammerman did that.
You
Yeah.
should have contacted him when you became a priest.
That would have been. I should have. That would have been great.
What
All
about,
right. Well, I'm looking for.
what about the girls' parents? My gosh, they're
Oh my
just
goodness.
horrible.
Yeah.
That's just
They've
slap
had it-
right there.
They've had a son die, and they don't seem to have any
Don't seem to care at all.
Yeah,
care.
that's terrible. Terrible.
Yep.
But that's
Get away with
people
all
from-
stuff. He's gone.
People from that charity group are here to pick up your brother's stuff. Can you help them? Just like that.
Brooke. Yeah, Brooke's parents.
Just matter of
That's
fact.
Sounded pretty heartless, didn't it?
Very much.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what was he signing at the end? I think the dad was signing something that the lawyer put in front of him. Does anybody know what that was? Or
Well,
did I miss part of it?
It
They
sounded.
they have to be. They're suing. They're the ones
Okay.
suing.
They're the ones. Okay, I didn't. Gotcha. I didn't
They were
catch that
looking. They were looking for somebody to be the actual offended party,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
and so they picked out a parent that would be willing to do it, and it was hers.
Whoever would sign the paper.
Oh.
Yep.
And they're going to get a lot of money if they win.
Yeah. That's the attractive part, but they're not hard off
No.
to look at.
No, but
So-
he knew what they
Don't-
want. They want her to get into an Ivy League school. That's really all they care about at the moment.
That's right.
And he knew that. So, however he knew that, that's what he used.
Very astute guy. You know that the hard thing for me in this a little bit is that that actor, I've seen in several movies where he's played an absolutely exceptional version of the devil. He,
There's something
he,
to
re-
that.
he really has that smug, sort of superior way that feels kind of slimy and a little scary.
It's not kind of slimy. It's slimy.
Yeah,
He was talking to the defense lawyer. I just felt like if I had been to the defense lawyer, I think he got to the guy, but
yeah,
I felt like, gosh, if he had said any of that to me, it would have been so um I just would have been so
Would have been ugly.
not believing him. Like I would have known what he was doing. Like he's
yeah.
just trying to intimidate me at the moment, and he's just dumb. I
He
mean,
did it. Did a good job.
but he got to the lawyer, but I was just thinking, why are you believing this, buddy?
Did you see that? Did you hear the value in the last comment he made?
Well,
What did he say?
Or
What did he say to him when he was
Nice
leaving?
shoes, nice shoes.
Nice, nice shoes. So of course that he was being sarcastic. He thinks the shoes are terrible. He's on there getting his shoe shine.
Right.
But the impression he's giving him is that's all this is to me. This is not going to be a hard, big job for me. It's going to be an easy thing for me. So, here I am, see you in court.
would be
Really
nice.
letting him know that, yeah, scaring him just by being laissez-faire about it. So I think really brilliant techniques for him that he's displaying that way of making it really, really important with the hate thing, but then absolutely frivolous with everything else.
Just a slime ball.
Yeah.
I think a slug crawling around your porch leaves a cleaner trail than that guy when he walks around.
Yeah.
That
The
guy's terrible.
hard thing for me is the ACLU in general has been pretty positive on making change, and I don't know, and I don't quite understand why he's so evil. I don't know. He just seems very evil.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, he hates. I mean, he really qualified that as something horrible. This isn't just run-of-the-mill hate.
Right.
This is real, like, cellular level disruption hate. That's saying a lot.
Weird.
Yeah.
But
So
like I said before, going to extremes, that's what the movie's about.
it is.
This movie does seem to have some extreme. I can't wait for the actual trial to see where they go. Like the questioning of the witnesses. I can imagine this is going to be off the charts.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Remember, and I said Lee Strobel's in this movie, so we get to see him too. That's great. That's something to really look forward to.
I don't know who Lee Strobel is.
He wrote a book. He wrote a book called it's Defense of God, I think, or the Proof of God. I can't remember what it's called, but he did a lot of research for a long time to show that Jesus was an absolute historical person, and that the claims of divinity for the presence of God are absolutely plausible.
Let's look him up. Lee Strobel.
Lee Strobel.
Yeah, recognize him.
Which character is he?
He's going to be a witness for the defense. They call him as a witness for the defense, which would make sense because he's that expert on the life of the reality of Jesus, I guess would be.
And he's playing himself.
Yep.
We got
Pretty cool.
the newsboys play themselves, and he's playing himself.
Yep.
Anybody else? I'm not sure. Anyway,
It's a good. I like that technique in this instance.
yeah.
Really cool. Yeah.
Oh, the Duck Dynasty guy played himself.
Oh yeah,
His
that's
wife.
right.
I knew there
That's
was.
right.
I knew there was another one, a celebrity.
Somebody else.
Had missed it for a moment, but I love the way they dismissed the Duck Dynasty TV lover.
I know. Yeah, but they stuck that in. I wonder if they had some kind of deal with Duck Dynasty to sneak it in again. Like they get the little advertisement from little push. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, but instead he gets stuck with a pastor.
That's right. That's right. The poor worn threadbare pastor.
But they
All
didn't
right,
ask
guys,
any of
I'm
them
glad.
if they could be impartial or if they had made up their mind about the case or if, when you go to jury duty, they have all these like, I guess they just, for they didn't want to go through the time
Well,
to do the standard.
I was just on jury duty for 3 weeks, and I wondered flat out if I ever got called up to do it, if I would ever make it to the jury box. They wouldn't just eliminate me right away. So I
Yeah.
never got called. They say that was federal jury duty, and a lot of those end long before they get there. The trial's set, but then they do the plea bargain the day before.
Yeah.
Settlement, so not a court, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time I had jury duty, I never made it out of the room.
I had to call every Friday for seems like 5 weeks, maybe,
Oh,
for Hanover and never had to go in. So
yeah. Mine was 3.
I've
3
never, served jury duty.
Mm-mm.
I got chosen for a murder case.
Wow.
Like,
Holy smokes.
15, 20 years ago, maybe. And we were in the jury room ordering our lunch before it started, and they came in and said that we could all go home because the guy's lawyer didn't know what he was doing.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And I was really disappointed.
Oh.
That's
You got
weird.
gypped.
You watch a lot of Law and Order, huh? You want to see how it really plays out.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
All right,
get-
guys, I'm gonna run. I gotta get my dog back in. I was running to put him out, and I can hear him out there. So, great round 1. So we got 2 more to go. So look for the next one we're at the beginning of the trial. We head off guns blazing. And have a wonderful night. Sleep well. I hope everybody has some good dreams if you have any.
I might have to
Thank
watch
you.
the video. I might have to watch the recording of the third one.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna be out of town.
Ah,
Maybe I'll try to, if I can, I'll try to join, but I don't know what my schedule is going to be there. Going to
We'll see.
Massachusetts, going to see Alex.
Maybe it'll work out as we get closer.
Yeah.
All right,
All
guys,
right.
have a wonderful
all
night.
right.
Watch
Thank
out for
you.
terrible
Bye.
thunderstorms and heavy rain.
All right. Y'all
Yep.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye, Mom. Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
All right.